and the big thing at Sportsman Park was the baseball games.
Mm-hmm.
That was the big, because Mr. Wright, I think that's his name. I can't think of the man name. But anyway, that's when they had like a nightclub, lounge and everything. They had a little motel out and everything. But Savannah Bears was the big thing that really kept that park going. You know, I mean, he did everything for us to keep thing going there and everything. And then Mr. Simmons did everything too. But the guy who owned it, I can't. But matter of fact, his son is trying to write something about Sportsman Park. But that was the main thing. You can go to Sportsman Park. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember? I've heard stories about the little motel there, that it was a little rent by hour. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
It was rent by hours, and you know, I was too young to rent by hours, put it that way. But that's what it was. That's where then they had you had the lounge, nightclub, then they had the hotel, then you pull up and then they had the field, and it wasn't like fighting or violent and all that stuff during that time, but that you go out there, you have a good time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's certain, like, they call it people from Sandfly, which is part of Savannah, but it's out from Savannah. And those different areas right around Sportsman Park, people from Yamacraw, Calvin Village and the stuff with it. But Sportsman Park is really for the adults. And that's where you learn a lot about life there, too. A lot about life.
Were there any specific life lessons and stuff that you learned while being there?
Not at Sportsman Park. I learned more coming from playing for the Whoopers in West Savannah. Because I know I was running, they got Augusta Road, then they got the big train track there. Coming from, it used to be the Nancy Hank go to Atlanta. And they got about 8 tracks there, and I had to cross those tracks. And once I get to, I think it was Louisville Road, my life was to run from there all the way home. And that gave me stamina and everything to play the game, you know, keep going. And if I was taking my time getting ready, I seen this pickup truck turn in there. I said, oh boy, this. I don't know, something told me this ain't right, you know. So I kind of got, right there they had a place used to, like a paper plate. They take wood and cut it and chop it all up. And I kind of eased up in the middle up in there, and I heard a little pickup with 2 white guys in it, you know, and I heard them saying, you know, man, you know, I just seen the end, you know, coming through here. I know what they're going to do, because they had a tendency, if you riding a bicycle or stuff, they'll have a 2x4 out there and ride by you. And like, it's funny now, but it wasn't funny then when somebody hit you, you know. And something told me to go on top of the woods, and I looked down, and, you know, they started saying what they're going to do. It was Ku Klux Klan. Mm-hmm. You know, after that, I laid up there about 15, 20 minutes, and I looked down, they kept going. There was all Magazine Avenue, it's still there, Magazine. And I ran from Louisville Road straight to Gwinnett Street, and I mean, I got there fast. And that's when I found out what life was all about. I really found out what life was all about in the South then. And like I told my mother, and she said, you know, you got to do what you want to do. If you want to continue to do that, or you want to continue to live scared, then don't do it. But that's why I learned how to be. That's why I love myself and the game. Yeah. I said, nobody's going to stop me from doing this game I love. So.
Okay. So jumping to what you were just saying there. So that was a common thing, that a common practice of the Ku Klux Klan?
Yeah, mostly. I used to work on Gaston and Bonnet Street, a little grocery store. And when I ride my bicycle home, I hit Gwinnett Street from. You always start at the top of West Broad Street, which is Martin Luther King now, and see how fast you can go all the way to the end. What, you know, whether you got lights on your bike or nothing, you want to make sure no cars coming, and you know you can. And the white kids used to come down with 2x4s, and if you riding, I mean, they come down in a pickup truck, and you know you don't know what's behind you, you know, and I mean they hit you with them boys. I seen a couple of us used to work up around Bonnet Street and up the grocery store. I mean it was dangerous, but you know, you don't stop if you can. All they do, they hit you and scare you and make you go faster. Seriously though, And it was common stuff that things happen in Savannah. And even much with me, some things happen. But I just got to the point I wasn't afraid no more, you know. I wasn't going to run no more. I was going to do what I've been doing and stop me from working, you know. But I just had my mother and father just kept pounding me, you know. Hey, this is what you want to do it, you know. Yeah.
So, what was it like playing at Sportsman Park? Can you describe the crowds, the fans, the
It
environment?
was, if you do something good, it was unbelievable. Yeah. When they find out that they started calling me Little Lefty after Larry Norris, without left hand, they thought I was going to do this and do that. But when they started calling, people started gravitating towards me as a young kid, you know, 16, 17 years old. Because we had a couple of other kids, had a guy named Willie Farley from Beach High, he was a running back, and he was famous. And we had a couple of guys in that thing, I have to get their name. And then they had Joe Gaston and them guys. And Larry Morris was the thing of Savannah. He was the thing of Savannah, you know. So long as you follow and win the ball game, it was good, you know. The people, the fans love you, you know. Everybody want to give you moonshine and all that stuff. But I was young. I wasn't about to drink nothing. I wasn't going to do nothing wrong. I wasn't smoking no cigarette, nothing. I wanted to play ball. Simple as that.
So you guys had some pretty strong fans that always really wanted.
Oh yes. It was. I think we tried to get a game. We might have played a game at Gracie Stadium because they didn't allow no black team to play at Gracie Stadium. They can say what they want. Now I know, but I think they tried to get a game there, and the fans kind of heard about it and went crazy. But you go to Sportsman Park, because they can park out there. They can park and do what they want. If they want to get drunk, nobody bother them. But they know if they go to Gracie Stadium and come through Victory Drive, you're going to get in trouble. It's very simple. Police going to stop you. So that's why they don't want to play too many games there. As my recollection, I don't think we ever played there. I went there a lot, but never played there.
Can you tell me about going to Grayson Stadium? The teams that you saw, or any experiences that you had there?
When I was young, 12, 13 years old, Clausen Bakery used to be in Wholesome Clausen Bakery. And they'd give by being a fireman in Savannah. So every week I get a badge and get to the top. And this was one of the things that really hurt me and that I'll never forget about what happened, is that I got to be the fire chief, the chief of the fire department on the little badges on the contest. And when I went to Gracie Stadium and left, because the only time they let blacks in Gracie Stadium, you sit in the left field in the bleachers over here. But when I went there, I was the only black kid there. They had all the white kids here. And they sent me in right field behind first base by myself. And I got on, and I was supposed to have been the champ that day because I had the badge and everything. And they never recognized me. And I think that's one of the most the hurting thing that I ever got in Savannah. And I made up my mind right then that, nobody never do me like that again. Never, So then the other time, it used to be Savannah, it used to be the Cincinnati Red Leagues, farm system, Savannah Red Leagues. And we went to trial right there. I was 16 years old. And my brother-in-law, his brother, another guy was there. And they put me on the mound for you pitch one inning against three guys. And I throw nine balls. 3, 6, 9, boom, they go. I struck out the first guy, the second guy, and the third guy hit a line drive to the left field. And the guy told me I was too short, I was this and that. And, that's when I really find out what life is all about,
So can you describe your transition from the Bears to the Clowns? How did that take place?
58 January. Detroit Tigers in Lakeland, Florida had an instructing school. You come to instructions. So I got a letter. I can't remember who wrote it to me, but I know I got a letter saying that we would like for you to come to instruction school. If you do good, you might get signed a professional thing. So I went there, and when I got there, it was like about 500 guys. I mean, at the same camp they got down to Taggart in Lakeland, Florida. When I got there, it was like, and man, the guy from, matter of fact, from Beaufort, South Carolina, was the only 2 blacks there. Then they brought in another guy named Dick Allen, not the one that played with the Phillies, the young guy. He was from Toledo, unbelievable ball player. And I kept getting, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. They put me at first, I was too short. They put me in the outfield, my arm wasn't good. They put me on the mound, nobody played. They always brought me in like release, something, nobody touched me. So a guy named Billy Hitchcock, and he was the manager of the Braves one time and Baltimore. And he told me to my face, they called it Grapefruit League. He said, you might think you're good, or you as good, you'll never make it. I said, what you mean by that? I'm too small, da-da-da. He said, no. But during that time, we was colored. I said, you kidding me? He said, no, you'll never make it. So the scout, the head scout from Detroit, it's in the story. I can't think of the name now. And like I tell people, he's dead now, but if they ever take me to his grave, I spit on it. I think he told me you need to go back home and play with the Bears. So that's what I did. I figured, well, they're gonna bring me the next day. So the next year I got invited there without having to pay or anything, and I had the same thing. And a guy named Paul Glover. He came. He was a black guy. That year we had like 4 or 5 black guys. So he said, if you don't make it here, why don't you come with me with the Birmingham Black Barons? That was the Negro League was still going. And he said, you can play, I definitely know you will make it with the Birmingham Black Barons. But, you pay your own way once you make it. And I said, no, I'm going back, and I played with the Savannah Bears. And then in '60, that's when I got the letter to go to Cocoa, Florida. When I got there, the guy from the Twins watched me and told me da-da-da, how this and that. And the guy from the Clowns, who owned the Clowns at the time, he came and asked me did I want to play, and I signed the contract there, 1960. And then I re-signed early in 1961 in St. Petersburg, Florida. Yeah. And my time with the Clowns was good, but then lately, all the guys I played with, I found out in 60, 61, but in 2010, I found out why they didn't pick me up in Jersey. It took me that long.
Why is that?
Because the guy named Nature Boy Williams, when I all the stuff they wrote up about me, I was going to be the next this and that, Russel, Crazy Legs, Patterson, dancing, taking over this, doing this here. I was the best dancer since Double Duty Green. He was the North Carolina Jitterbug champ, and I was the Georgia Jitterbug champ. And Nature Boy, then I used to dance with Nature Boy because they had dress and stuff on. But the fans started liking me, and I found out that Nature Boy went to Ed Hammond, that's the guy who owned it, was telling him if I stay, he was gonna quit. He was making, I'm making $150 a month, but he was making like $500-600. But he been with him like 3 or 4 years, so that's why I just went to Jersey. But we was under contract. I was under contract, and that's why now they trying to get me a pension, because like I told them, I didn't ask to be released. Y'all told me I had to go, so I was. By law, I was still under contract with the Clowns, So that's why I'm fighting now. Happened so they got me on the Major League Players Pension fund thing now. So I'm fighting that before other people. So,
So did you ever play with Nate Bobo Smalls on the Clowns?
No, he was with me, but it was later. That's what. See, Yogi Cortez was the guy who did all the twisting and all that stuff they call it. And who was I don't know if it's the Bobo, but a guy named a Cuban guy from Plato. He was the clown that when he threw the ball, the arm fall off. Nature Boy and me and Double Duty Green, we did the dancing and all that stuff. Cause I got so then that I can get a chair and play first base. And when Floyd Green, called Flap Green, he live in North Carolina now, with shortstop, one of the best gloves you can see in your life. When he picked the ball up, they didn't see the chair behind me, so when he threw, I know where the ball will be at. I flop the chair down and catch it. So that's why they got a little pissed off about it. Be honest with you, you know. Then I got into shadow ball. Shadow ball is that you don't have a ball. And I got good doing that and dancing and stuff like that. So, but I really enjoy it. I learned a lot from the clown. Not only playing the game, but what life is all about. I mean, we had some experience, man. It was just, oh Lord, it was near death. You know, like